Now, it's a national scandal. A senior Lib Dem politician says the parents of children with long COVID have been ignored, marginalised and disbelieved by doctors, and that needs to change. Families affected by coronavirus have been giving evidence to a cross-party panel of MPs looking into the government's handling of the pandemic. Official figures show almost 15% of children who test positive will have symptoms that last many weeks. Nicola Haseler has spoken to a family from Milton Keynes who gave evidence.
Would you recognise these symptoms as a sign of COVID in your child? Rashes, bruising, strawberry tongue or chest pain? Parents of children who are still unwell want these inflammatory conditions to be officially acknowledged as symptoms. The Mountford Hill family from Milton Keynes shared their experience with politicians.
For Mimi, aged 4, obviously we were told it didn't affect children. She couldn't get out of bed. She couldn't walk on her feet. They hurt too much. Rashes, headaches.
What have doctors said to you?
So far, nothing really. So Mimi was hospitalised twice. Indy, we had to take to A&E at least 3 times. And obviously we've seen the GP many, many times. We had a slight breakthrough, or a big breakthrough actually, I think 2 weeks ago. So Indy had a new consultant take over his case, who then diagnosed him with long COVID. And it's the first time that anyone has accepted that this is long COVID.
I started getting these weird ulcers in my mouth and these weird coloured bruises.
Sometimes I can't breathe, so I have to wake up and take a big breath.
The Long COVID Kids support group is growing by around 60 families a week.
We desperately need help. We need long COVID to be accepted in children. We need the very senior medical professionals to accept long COVID in children so that we're going to see a difference at a local level.
The latest official figures show that 15% of children still have symptoms after 5 weeks. But a new study of 200 families shows that 60% of children with long COVID are still unwell after 6 months, and half of them had a very mild initial illness or no symptoms at all.
I have an 8-year-old sleeping at the end of my bed propped up on pillows because he repeatedly wakes up in the night gasping for air. I look at all my children and none of them are the same children that were before we got sick, before March.
One politician was brought to tears listening to the families.
This is a national scandal. You've been ignored, you've been marginalised, you've been disbelieved. You've not been offered any treatment for you or your children. It's an outrage.
The NHS says it's opening 80 long COVID clinics for adults, but has still not given a response on long COVID in children. So for hundreds of families, the fight to even be acknowledged continues. Nicola Haseler, BBC Look East.